there something that I can help you find today? Well, just to let you know, we have a special going on with Psycroptic's The Inherited Repression, the 2012 album that's being released tomorrow, which is Tuesday, by the Tasmanian band, the Tasmanian Technical Death Metal Band. Now, it's apt that I'm actually wearing my workplace uniform, the FYE uniform, which is a music and movie store, for those of you who don't know, who maybe perhaps live outside of the United States. It's apt because I was there tonight, and tonight, of course, being Monday night is new release night. It's the night in which we put out everything that is going to be released the following day, Tuesday, which is new release day here in America. And this album happened to be the lone heavy metal album to be released. That we actually got, and we actually got the opportunity to put out. Now, this was very different last week. We had the Beyond Magnetic EP, which was released online by Metallica, that is. It was released online back in December, and there was, of course, Bleeding Through and other albums like that. However, for this particular week, this is it. Of course, the big ones, Van Halen, Paul McCartney's 1920s album, so to speak, now 41, blah, blah, blah. However, we're here to talk about Psycroptic and this album that they are going to be releasing, The Inherited Repression, which is another really strong album by this band. This is a band that's been going at it ever since the first part of the 2000s, and they have kind of shifted their lineup a little bit. They had shifted their lineup for their previous affair ever since they had jumped to Nuclear Blast Records, and it has been a little bit of a different format to it. However, the overall core sound has not really deteriorated, decayed, or really shifted all of that much. It's just gotten a little bit more cleanly produced, so to speak. The first couple of albums, I can remember these albums, they were fantastic, fantastic albums. The mix on it was a little bit different than it is now with Nuclear Blast. Nuclear Blast definitely has given it a more rich sound. It's kind of entered into that wall of sound war type thing going on, only it's not really a bona fide contender, because while it is very loud and while it is very proud, this is an album that certainly embraces its texture and the musicianship more so than just trying to blow your eardrums out. This is not a band that's really going to attempt to do that by hitting the sound clips on each and every moment of the record. Something that you would hear perhaps more so on a deathcore record or a Devin Townsend record. Devin Townsend, of course, embraces the wall of sound philosophy. Now, with this album, we see and hear the band continue to evolve their sound in bits and pieces. With the technical death metal sound, there's only so much that you can really do. You can really take it a number of different directions in order to kind of build some dynamisty to it, or you can just continue upon the very basic tread path. And this is a band that's going to continue on the very basic tread path, really embracing the speed and the technical virtuosity of the musicians, the fury and the gruffness of the vocals, the very, just destructive and very distinctive growls that come along with the technical death metal style. This is not a band that's really going to delve off into any sort of grand progression. This is not a band that's going to kind of delve off into any other sort of musical philosophy. They're very, satisfied with that which they are accomplishing, and they feel that that is enough of a representation of what they do that they can be considered to be one of the most important members of this genre, not to mention the most important representative from Down Under. Now, with this band, you're also going to get, with a nice mix, with the technical virtuosity and with the gruff vocals, you're also just going to get a nice little embodiment of musical ideas within the realm of technical death metal. Which means this is a band that's not necessarily always going to have to infuriate you and really just go for the full force, full speed of what they're able to do. They're able to break it down a little bit. They're able to kind of mix it up a little bit, add a little bit of harmony to it every once in a great while. However, this is a band that also doesn't want to get caught in the harmony trap, so they try to do it only sparingly in very small doses to kind of add a little bit of atmosphere. They don't want to do that because too many times bands get sort of addicted to harmony, and whenever you get addicted to placing harmony inside this gruff environment, it really kind of decays the overall value of it. While it does add a little bit of a variety to it, it sometimes waters down the overall product, and that's something that Psycroptic does not want to do, something that Psycroptic opted not to do. So overall, whenever you listen to this album, you're going to really be impressed by the fact that these boys are able to continue to put out very, very crushing crushing technical death metal. And this is an album that's going to continue to further their legend, not only in their home country, but also abroad. This was a band that was exposed to me, and I'm going to give them a shout out. I know I've done it before, but by my buddy Alex Manassi from Los Angeles, along with Calvados and a couple of other bands that he was really big into whenever they first came out in the early 2000s and things like that. And this is another one of those projects that I've continued to follow that you've kind of given me, man, and I once again reward you with the shout out, Manini. And so once again we are given a nice, beautiful import by a technical death metal band that is not willing to stray from the path and is not willing to deviate. Instead is willing to tread the path in which they initially tread and initially trailblazed in order to create another great album here in 2012. Got to give it a lot of props. 7.75 out of 10. It's one of those albums that if you like technical death metal, if you love technical death metal, you'll love this album. If technical death metal isn't your cup of tea, you may still embrace the virtuosity. You may still embrace the fact that, well, it's a nice painted vision of death metal from abroad. If you just outright hate this stuff, stay away from it. Will that be all for you today? Thank you. Come again.